Right, yeah. Intro. Alright guys, Ian here from 79 Sports Therapy. So you know what it's like when we're injured, you kind of think you're absolutely nailing it in rehab, like symptoms are getting better, feeling sort of better day by day, functioning sort of better day by day, and you kind of think, oh, do you know what? All that like stretching and like mobility and that kind of strength work, that rehab work, I'm kind of feeling a little bit better. I kind of let it slide a little bit. You know, better behaviors during the day at work, kind of let them slide a little bit. Like I'm feeling better, right? Then all of a sudden, as you just keep on sort of progressing that, keep on sort of getting into those kind of slightly sort of bad habits, you kind of think, oh, cool, I'm going to just ramp up the training a little bit. I know I've been kind of progressing kind of just gradually, but I just fancied, you know what, I'm going to go out and just smash out a slightly sort of bigger run or something like that. And then all of a sudden, injured again, right? And you kind of think, oh, all of that kind of stuff I've been doing must just not have worked, right? Throw it all out, we'll just start again. We hear this sort of so often with a lot of our patients, and a lot of our patients sort of come to us in that manner. So not having been educated about this, thinking that it is a very, very binary concept. It's as simple as the injury continuum, okay? We've got to move away from injury being a binary concept and think of it being much more of a kind of sliding concept. So I made you a diagram to show you what I mean. Let's have a little look. All right. So the injury continuum, look, this is where we start to move away from it being a very binary construct where you're either injured or you're not, you're either symptomatic or you're not, and we start to think about that slide rule between symptomatic and asymptomatic, right? So on the one hand of the graph, we've got asymptomatic, on the other hand, we've got then symptomatic. And somewhere in the middle, there's this sort of line that we sort of cross over whereby we become increasingly more symptomatic. Now, of course, when you're injured, you're going to sit up at this end somewhere, okay? As we then rehab, you're getting better, right? Again, it's not something that you just kind of go, cool, we're going to do some exercises, you do a couple of exercises, then it's all better. It gets progressively better, right? So if it's getting progressively better, we're progressively sliding back down towards asymptomatic, right? And at some point, you're going to cross this line and you're going to think, cool, groovy, awesome. Like I'm feeling good, feeling asymptomatic, there's no pain, function's up, etc. You might be here, just over that line. Might not be over here. It might be just over that line. You kind of think, cool, awesome. I'm going to go out and I'm going to sort of push myself in training. You know, do all this sort of bad habits, start to irritate it, etc., etc. And eventually, you're just going to start creeping back down this way. And again, this is where we think about this continuum. It's a really, really sort of handy tool to have in the back of your head. This continuum sort of dictates the sort of rehab structure and the sort of continuing management. Don't think of it as being, oh, I'm now pain-free, therefore I must be good. It's a little bit more about, I'm pain-free, I've got to keep on making sure I then stay sort of pain-free. So we think about what's then on that sort of asymptomatic side. So, you know, kind of good management, good behaviors, you know, nice, easy, progressive overload. We think about then what's then on the actual symptomatic sort of side of things. And again, it's going to be those sort of bad behaviors, poor management. What's poor management mean? Well, again, it's that you're just not doing that work, not doing the sort of corrective, the rehab work, the sort of mobility work. And then obviously, you know, we're going to be overtraining. So again, that's that. You know, I'm feeling good. I'm just going to bang straight up. You know, I was running like 1K, 2K, sort of 10, 15 minutes, something there or thereabouts. And then all of a sudden, oh, my mate wants me to go out and run like 10K with him, 15K with him. Oh, I'm just going to go and sort of push it. That's that overtraining. We want to be progressive in that overload rather than very, very quick in it. When we're very, very quick in it, we've not built that progression into it. That gradual sort of re-exposure into it, and the body is then going to irritate. In particular, if that's the irritating mechanism for sort of why you've sort of come in. So you start to see them moving away from that binary concept, not just sort of formats how we do our rehab side of things, but also how we do our prehab preventative side of things. And also then, you know, your trigger as to when am I injured, right? So as opposed to you being like, well, I'm right over here in terms of symptomatic, that's when I'm injured. We start to sort of manage that issue a little bit better. So you start then kind of coming back into the clinic, much more often, when you start to slide along here, you may well not be symptomatic. And actually, what I always preach to a lot of my patients is actually, I don't want to see them when they're over here. I don't want to see them when they're sort of really symptomatic. I want to have seen them beforehand. I don't want to sort of see them over here because it means we then time out of exercise, we've got to repair, rebuild, remodel, etc., etc. It's like starting almost sort of from fresh again. What I want to see is when they're just over the line, just a little bit symptomatic, a little bit irritable, a little bit tight, that kind of thing. So actually starting to identify when you're starting to slide towards symptomatic, that's really, really handy for us. You can then come back in here, treat it again, a little bit of a tweak, possibly a little bit of a tweak in terms of sort of what you're doing exercise-wise or what you're doing like sort of training-wise, like training volume, training load, and also what you're doing rehab and also mobility to manage it. A little bit of a tweak in terms of that, and then we then see ourselves then sliding back down towards sort of asymptomatic again. This is just our way of sort of modelling that management so that actually we both work in partnership to make sure that actually you fundamentally stay mostly over this side of the line, and the worst you ever get is slightly symptomatic. So slightly irritable, slightly sort of poor management, and again, that's going to be on the back of, again, just training load. So as that training load sort of goes up, we might well find ourselves becoming a little bit tighter, that kind of thing. But also just, like a heavy week at work or something like that, going on holiday, and we just find ourselves just sliding back into those sort of bad habits. Coming back in is just our way of just going, right, okay, let's reset, let's figure out then how we then move you sort of further forwards. But that's us for this time. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and comment below. Let us know your thoughts. See you next time.